It started with a dare and ended with one of us nearly dead. I hadn't seen my old uni mates in over a year. Life just pulled us in different directions. But when Jamie suggested a winter trip to his uncle's old hunting cabin up in Cumbria, we all jumped on it. Cheap, isolated, and surrounded by forest, it sounded like the perfect getaway from city noise. The first night was filled with drinks, card games, and laughing over stupid memories. The heater inside the cabin worked, barely. Outside, snow had started falling, thick and heavy. It blanketed everything in silence. It was Ollie who brought up the local rumor. Back in the 70s, he said, grinning like a twat, a group went missing just like us. Same spot. Locals said they were found days later, some naked in the snow, others frozen stiff around the fire, eyes wide open. No sign of anyone else. No footprints, no break-in. Just dead. Bollocks, I muttered, trying to laugh it off. But something about the cabin suddenly felt colder. The next morning, we were snowed in. I mean properly trapped. Doors frozen shut, windows rimmed with thick ice. Even the satellite phone Jamie brought wouldn't connect. We had no signal, no way to leave. Roads were miles away, and none of us were experienced hikers in snow this deep. By the second night, the heater started giving out. Our breaths fogged the air. Every creak of the wooden walls sounded louder, the shadows longer. And then we found the handprint on the inside of the window. Small, pale, like a child's. It hadn't been there before. We all saw it. Nobody confessed to making it. We tried to shake it off, blaming condensation. But then the tapping began. Late at night, a slow, deliberate tap 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 on the window panes. Always when the lights were off. Always from different sides of the cabin. Once I grabbed a flashlight and flung open the curtains. Nothing. No prints. No movement. Just endless white. But then, I swear, I saw a figure standing just beyond the tree-line. Tall. Motionless. Facing us. We barely slept. On the third day, Jamie went outside to dig a path to the generator behind the shed. We watched from the window. The snow was knee-high, his steps slow. Then he stopped, mid-stride. We banged on the glass, shouting for him to come back. But he just stood there, staring ahead, like he was frozen in place. When Ollie ran out to grab him, they both didn't come back. 20 long minutes later, I finally saw movement. Ollie dragging Jamie back by his coat, both of them pale as death. Jamie's lips were blue, his face blank. He'd collapsed outside, unresponsive, muttering something over and over. We wrapped him in blankets, put him near the fire, but he kept whispering. He's under the snow. He's under the snow. He's under the snow. We thought he'd gone in a hypothermia-induced delirium. Then the generator cut out. Darkness swallowed the cabin like a wave. That night was the worst. The temperature dropped below, freezing inside. The tapping returned. This time on the walls. Not the windows. The walls. Like someone or something was circling the cabin, dragging fingers along the wood. Slow. Scraping. We huddled around the fireplace with our last few logs burning low, listening, holding knives like they protect us from the cold or whatever was outside. At 2:13 a.m., the front door groaned. It didn't fly open. It creaked open. No one moved. The fire flickered. Our breath hung in the air. Jamie, who hadn't spoken in hours, suddenly screamed. There he is. We all spun, but saw nothing. Just the dark doorway, wind pushing in snow. I lunged forward and slammed it shut. That was when we decided we couldn't wait anymore. We packed what we could, left Jamie bundled in sleeping bags, and took turns digging the car out. We had to force the door open from the outside. It had been frozen solid with ice. Ollie drove, I kept lookout, and Jamie lay unconscious in the back seat. As we pulled onto the main road, I looked back one last time. In the upstairs window of the cabin, where we never went, I saw someone watching us. A child, pale, dark-eyed, face pressed to the glass, smiling. We didn't stop. We didn't talk. Jamie was hospitalized for frostbite, and severe hypothermia. He recovered, mostly, but he doesn't remember the trip. Just flashes. Cold, eyes in the snow, a voice whispering to him. We never went back. The cabin was listed for sale a month later. No takers. Locals avoid that stretch of forest entirely now. The cold wasn't what chilled me the most. It was the scream that cut through the forest like a blade. It was early January, and I had gone hiking alone in the Peak District, England. Not smart, I know, but I needed to clear my head after my breakup. I told myself I'd only stay a night in my tent and head back by afternoon the next day. No one knew I was here, not even my brother. Just me, my rucksack, and the frozen hills. The sun had already dipped below the trees when I pitched my tent near Snake Pass. The wind whipped violently, howling through the bare trees like a warning. I ignored it. I had a good sleeping bag, a thick jacket, and enough battery on my phone to last me till morning. Or so I thought. That night, as I lay zipped in, I heard footsteps outside the tent, crunching in the snow. Not fast, not wandering, just pacing, deliberate. I held my breath. Thought maybe it was a deer or a lost hiker. Then it stopped, dead silent. And then, a slow dragging sound circled my tent. I could feel the pressure in my chest, like something ancient and heavy had just noticed I was there. I didn't unzip. I didn't breathe. I just waited. Eventually, it stopped. I didn't sleep that night. At first light, I stepped outside. No prints. No sign of anything. Just frost and silence. Even the birds were gone. I decided to pack up and leave early. Half an hour down the trail, I came across a man. He was standing completely still. No gear. Just a brown coat and no gloves. His face was pale, lips purple, eyes glassy. He was barefoot. Are you okay? I called out. He didn't respond. He just raised his hand and pointed behind me. I spun around. Nothing. When I turned back, he was gone. I'm not talking about him walking away. I mean, he vanished. There were no footsteps in the snow. None coming, none leaving. Just my own. I was starting to panic. I jogged faster, following the frozen trail back to where I had parked. My fingers burned with cold. My phone was nearly dead, and I had no signal. About 2 miles in, I saw something hanging from a tree ahead. It was a torn sleeping bag, ripped down the middle. Its inside soaked red and frozen stiff. Blood trailed in the snow, leading deeper into the woods. I wanted to run the other way, but something in me needed to know. Maybe someone needed help. I followed it. About 30 meters in, I found a campsite. A small fire pit, long dead. A metal cup still half full of ice. And a phone, an iPhone like mine, lying face down covered in frost. When I picked it up, it unlocked. The home screen showed a photo of a young man and woman, smiling in front of a tent. I tapped through to the messages. The last one said, "He's outside again. I hear him dragging something. If we don't make it out, please tell Mom I'm sorry." The timestamp was 3 days ago. Then the phone died in my hand. I turned to leave, and that's when I saw the figure again. This time, closer. Same brown coat, same barefoot stance. But now he was smiling. Not a kind smile. His lips stretched too far, his cheeks cracked with frostbite, and his eyes didn't blink. I ran. I don't remember how far. My legs burned, my throat raw from the freezing air. I slipped twice, hit my knee on a stone, but I kept moving. The forest seemed endless. Every tree looked the same. I didn't even know if I was going the right way. Then I heard the scream again. Not from behind, from above. I looked up, and for a moment, I swear on my life, I saw a second figure hanging in the trees, spinning slowly, head limp, arms dangling like broken branches. I threw up in the snow. I don't remember blacking out, but I woke up face down near the road, shivering uncontrollably. A lorry driver had seen my footprints near the edge and stopped. He said I was mumbling about the barefoot man and the girl in the tree. I was taken to hospital with mild hypothermia. They said I was lucky. The police found a campsite I told them about. But there were no phones, no sleeping bag, no photo. Nothing. Just a patch of scorched grass and an empty thermos. No bodies. No tracks. No man in a brown coat. They chalked it up to exhaustion, exposure, and maybe a bit of hypothermic hallucination. But I know what I saw. I know what I heard. And I never hike alone anymore. Especially not in winter. Especially